Good evening. Good evening. Thank you guys for joining in. Hi, Teresa. Thank you guys for joining in. If you could just invite your followers and share this on Twitter. Hey, Khadijah. Glad you could come in. If you guys could, hey, hello. This is your first time watching? Well, thank you for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the scope. Thank you guys for sharing. Today, I wanted to, first of all, let me introduce myself for those who do not know who I am. Hey, sis. My name is Christina. I am a Christian life coach. And Monday nights, this is Straight Talk with Chris, where we come on and have conversations about questions that I post in my group that I have on Facebook. We have a private group called Straight Talk with Chris. Hi. Thank you for joining in. Invite your followers. We have a group, and every week I post a question. And on Monday nights, we discuss it. Hey, Linda. So today the question was, and I'm looking down because I'm looking at my notes that I have down here. But today's question was, do you think that women have lost their femininity due to taking on both roles in the household? Thank you guys for sharing this scope. So I posed this question, hey sis, to the ladies in the group. And there were several different responses to this question. But most women said yes, that they felt like they had lost their femininity due to having to play dual roles in the household. And not only having to play dual roles in the household, but also I had a young lady who left a comment, and she said that, yes, I thought it was a great question. She said that she felt like women had lost their femininity due to being hurt, which causes a woman to act and to be tough in regards of shielding her heart for the next man rather than submitting herself to him while he lead the way. That was a great response. And I found it to be a great response because it was something that I could relate to. And as women, I think that by having to play mother and father, we do sometimes lose our femininity because we're playing a role that was never meant for us to play. So when we find ourselves in a relationship, it's hard to be a woman in the sense of letting the man lead, to let the man be the man, because you're so used to having to do everything on your own. For many years, I raised two children on my own. So to share my space with a man on my time was very, very hard. And it was hard because I had played that role for so long. I didn't know how to allow a man to be a man. I was used to taking care of the children. I was used to taking care of the home. I was used to paying all the bills. I was used to being the one to do all the disciplining. So PTA meetings, going to the schools, whatever it was that had to be done, I was the one doing it. So I didn't know how to let that go. So I had to go through a season of being by myself. And during that season, God has been showing me a lot of different things about me. Learning how to get back to being what he designed me to be, which was a woman. God never designed me to be the woman and the man. That's not my role. So I had to relearn how to be a woman. I know that sounds funny, but I think that that's what you have to do. You have to go through a season of being alone so that you can learn how to be the role that he designed you to be, which is woman. He didn't design us to take on all the things that man is supposed to take on. And I had another young lady in the group who made a statement, and she's a young lady, and I was like, you know what? We have gotten so far away from family values that's another reason why we've lost our femininity. Because we've gotten away from, yes, we've gotten away from the man having the leadership role in the home and the woman being the woman of the home. God designed us in a certain way. Oh, and one of the comments that was made, listening to your friends when you have been on your own for so long and now you're so independent and your girls are telling you, you know what, girl, you got this, you don't need no man. That's a lie. Hey, Janae, that's a lie straight from the pit of hell. That you don't need a man. Yes, we have. We have made those bad words. We have made the man being the leader of the home, the head of the household. We have made that a bad word. It's not a bad word. It's the way that it was designed to be. The man was designed to be. Yes, watch those frenemies, girl, telling you, oh, you don't need a man. Yes, you do. You need a man. We were designed to need a man. Man was designed to need a woman. That's the way we were designed. But we have come to a place in society and let me tell you, has dictated how we should value our relationships. Yes, society has dictated how we should value our relationships. We have gotten so far off the rails until we wonder why our children are running around, running amok, acting monkey fools. Why people, period, are running around here acting monkey fools, because we have gotten so far away from how things used to be. It used to be a time where men went to work, women stayed home if they wanted to. If they wanted to work, they could work. What about cultural gender roles and biblical gender roles? Men and women. Yes, many times there are no men, and women, and women have to take the lead. That's really not the way it was designed to be. We made a comment earlier today, and the young lady says she remembered growing up and watching her grandparents, have values and morals in the home, and everybody in the community had a hand in raising the children. The men went to work, the women stayed at home, but everybody had a hand in raising the children. I remember a day when the men went to work. The women, if they wanted to stay home, they could stay home. If they wanted to work, they could go to work. But everybody had a hand in raising us. Now we've gotten to a place where adults they fear the children more than they fear God. So we've lost so much somewhere down the line, and it's like, how do we get that back? Personally, I don't want to be the head of my household. I don't want to take the responsibility of having to do everything for my household. I want a man that can lead. Yes, it does take a village to raise the kids, but when the village is afraid of the kids, who's raising them? Nobody. I mean, we just got to be honest and real about things. You know, we sit around and we sugarcoat stuff and we want to give a little bit here and give a little bit there, but that's just not the way it is. Bats work well. Not tonight, Linda. I'm not messing with you tonight. But we want to give a little here and give a little there, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. Well, when people get married, there's so much now that's out of order until it's not even funny. Yeah. Oh, I hear that so much. But I tell people quick, if you don't want anybody disciplining your kids, then keep them home because they can't come to my house. If they come to my house, they're going to get the same treatment that my kids get. If you don't like it, keep them home. I'm not going to cry or spill no milk about it. And that's just what it is. Yeah. I mean, anybody that knows me knows I love your kids. I love on them. I'm going to treat them good. But if you don't want them to be disciplined, then you can put them in your car and take them right back to your house with you. And you can let them do what they want to at your house, but they're not going to do it at mine. Because I don't discriminate against any kids. I treat them all the same. If I whoop mine, you leave yours here, they're going to get whooped too. And if you don't want that to happen, then take them home. It's just that simple for me. I mean, I don't have I don't have time for it. It's just not the way I was brought up, and it's not the way that I do my children. And all my friends that allow their kids to come to my house, they know I'm not going to do anything to harm their children. But you're not going to disrespect me in my home either. And I think we've gotten too far away from that. We've gotten too far away from a lot of things. And, like I was saying earlier, I don't want to be the head of my household. I want to have a man that can lead my household. I want to be the woman. Allow me to be the woman. Allow me to be who God designed me to be. Allow me to be his helpmate. I don't want to be the boss. I don't want to wear the pants in the relationship. I don't want to do anything that's out of order to what a woman is supposed to do. And that's what we were designed to be. But we are living in a world where we are everything. I don't want to be everything. That's just not the role that I want to play. And there's some women that seem like, they've done it for so long that they're okay with it. Well, I'm not one of those women. I have done it for a long time, and I'm like, Lord, I'm tired now. I don't want to have to keep taking this role on anymore. And at some point, I think, yes, and the men are the back. It's not fair for us to have to do it all. I got to. Hello, King. How you doing? Thanks for joining in. Hey, Mocha. We have become so much more than just being the women. Thanks, King. I'm glad you're here. We have lost ourselves. And I was one of those. I mean, just hard. Like, if I got a man, I got a man. I don't really need you to do nothing. But that's the lie we tell ourselves because we've had to do it for so long. Until we become used to it. We become conditioned to have to play dual roles. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to our children. You know what, King? And not so much that, but I think for women in losing their femininity, and I've said this before, that a lot of times for women And a young lady, Janae, she's on here. She brought this up in the group today. When we've been hurt, we kind of take on that hard role, but it's a defense mechanism. You kind of become hard. You put up a shield. You know, you got people in your ear. You don't need a man. You don't need him for this. You don't need him for that. But that's just not the way we were designed. We were not designed to be alone. We were not designed to say that we don't need man, because we do. Independent role, I don't like it at all. I don't like that. I don't like it. You can have your career. You can go out here and go to work. But does that mean that you don't need a man in your life? Not just to bring home money, because there's so many other roles that he's supposed to play in your life and you're supposed to play in his life. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Society portrays it as, oh, there's no good men left. Now you got a bunch of women running around here saying, oh, I don't need no man because ain't no good man left. Okay, first of all, why you running around looking for him to start with? If you were somewhere getting yourself in position to be found and working on you and your flaws, then maybe he would pop up. But if you out running around looking for him and you ain't got nothing to offer, why you think you gonna find him? There's so many things wrong with these pictures. Yeah, it does shut us off. I mean, we've taken being independent to a whole nother level. And it's one that I don't like. And like I tell my girls, I have daughters. And I tell them, it's okay to go out here and get your education. It's okay to own a business. It's okay to get a job. But if you are looking to be married someday, then you have to make preparations in order to be somebody's wife. You can't just jump out here and be somebody's wife and not be prepared to be somebody's wife. You have to understand what it is to be a wife. You have to understand what that role means. That role does not mean that you just walk down the aisle in a pretty white dress and have a bunch of flower girls and a bunch of bridesmaids and say, I do. That's not what being a wife is about. It's not about sitting down and coming up with your fairy tale wedding. There's a lot of hard work in being a wife. There are sacrifices that you have to make. There are compromises that you have to make. Yes, it is a job within itself. But if you're not looking at you and the things that you know need to be corrected within yourself, then why would you go out here and expect for someone else to give you so much of themselves? Or why do you expect for a man to be a certain way? As women, we come up with this list. Oh, I want him to be 6'1", 6'2", dark skin, light skin. I want him to... Okay, but what is your list for you? It's very important. The practical ways to teach this to our young children is that we need to be talking about it. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about teaching them to understand what these roles mean. We want to talk about certain things when it comes to our children. Girl, yes. She ends up doing that because now she's taken on both roles. Number one, she doesn't want to let go because she's been the boss of her for so long and she doesn't want to give him the opportunity to lead her the way that the man is supposed to lead. And we have taken the word being submissive to your husband to such a whole nother level and taken it and blown it all out of context. A woman is to be submissive to her husband. He is supposed to be the head. He is supposed to lead. But society has told us that, oh, girl, you stupid if you submissive to your husband. I don't know what you letting him lead for. Shut up. You probably don't even have a husband when you over here whispering to your homegirl telling her how to run her marriage. Yes, it does not mean that you are weak. It means that you are there helping that man in the areas that you are supposed to be helping him in. It means that if he has a vision or he has something going on, you're there to help him go step by step to bring that thing into fruition. Building him up instead of tearing him down. We have got to stop. It is hard to let go of that role when you've been single for so long. Me and some of my girlfriends have been talking about this, and it's very hard to let go of that role. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's so important to have that time where you're not dating when you've been single for so long, and you're spending that time learning who you are. You're spending that time with God, and you're spending that time saying, Lord, show me the things that I need to change. If it's I don't communicate well, help me to communicate better. If you're holding on and you need to let go of some things, ask him, Lord, help me let go of these things. There are certain things that we have to do. Yes, because if you don't have both people working together, it's not going to work. There's nothing worse than having a relationship when you're in a relationship by yourself. Because it takes two people. It takes two. So these are conversations that we have got to start having. We don't have conversations. I don't think we're real in conversations because we're so afraid of offending other people. Well, I enjoy people coming on. If you get offended by anything I say, you can quickly log off. You don't stay on and listen to me. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, bye, leave. Because one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sugarcoat anything that I say on these scopes. What I believe and what I feel like needs to be said, I'm going to say. Yes, they are way too sensitive. They're sensitive to the truth. Seriously, I'm not going to do it. You have been around and you've seen me long enough to know that I don't bite my tongue. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to. Yes, I am a Christian life coach, but I tell the truth. I'm not going to give you. Most people, they want to get on here and they want to give you what they think you want to hear. That's not what I'm going to do. That's one of the ways that I know I'm not designed. I'm not designed to do that. That's right, Herlene. I'm not going to do it. This is who I am. I'm going to speak the truth. You either like it or you don't. It's pretty simple. But I'll say it again. For those who have their girlfriends whispering in their ears, telling them that they don't need a man, or stop being submissive to your husband, why you let your husband run you, you better turn around and tell them same girlfriends to shut up. Because one or two things are going on. Either they don't have anybody in their life, or their relationship is so jacked up that they want yours to be jacked up right along with them. That's right. So we've got to learn to set boundaries when it comes to our relationships. We've got to learn to set boundaries when it comes to so many things as far as men and women are concerned. And we don't do that. You got everybody in your business when you need to shut them out. And if you're like me, yes, Well, I'm glad you could join on it. I'm glad this was encouraging to you. But if you're like me and I have been single for quite some time, and yes, having to take on two roles, it has made me a little hard. I know that's right. It has made me hard, but I have been taking this time to just have that relationship with God where He's showing me, okay, you don't have the best communication skills in the world. No, I know I don't. So He's been working on that because I know when I'm having a conversation with a man, I can be downright hard. And then He's probably looking at me like, I don't want that, which I understand because I know He doesn't want me telling Him what to do. Communicating, building up those walls, just every day is a lesson in this journey of life. You are absolutely right. And I am in a time of refreshing, Linda. This is the time where I have been learning about me. This is the time where God has been showing me things about myself. And I'm enjoying this time. I want to be married at some point in my life. But when I do get married, I surely don't want him to have to deal with the crap of me as I still am right now. So I'm working on trying to get that femininity back. I have the part of the dress and putting on the makeup, but it's those inside characteristics that I'm working on. Those communication skills, learning how to let a man be a man. Girl, I sure, oh, Janae, I do deserve it now. But it's me being able to learn how to let a man be a man, and letting go of control, because that was another problem that I had. I was so used to controlling every aspect of life that God took everything from me where I didn't have control. And now I'm having to depend on other people. And that's something I've never had to do in my whole adult life. So now having to depend on other people, He's teaching me how to let go and how to be dependent on someone else. My grandmother always say, yes, the control, girl. Look, my grandmother always used to say, be careful what you ask God for. And I asked Him for some things, and boy, He had to wipe me all the way clean in order to get me to where I am right now. Now I was upset at first, but now I'm happy that I'm where I am. Oh, control was a bad girl. Linda, let me tell you, that's a bad thing for me. Because I want you to do what I want you to do, but I want you to do it when I want you to do it and the way I want you to do it. Okay, so I'm not the only one here. Okay, so now I feel a little bit better. But that was me. So now I'm learning. Yes, my way or no way. If you can't do it my way, oh boy, I would be mad. I mean, just mad. Like, mad, I don't want to talk to you. Don't you say nothing. Don't even look at me. But now I'm learning. It is not all about what I want or how I want it. I have to learn to compromise. And that was something I wasn't used to doing. I wasn't used to compromising. So there are certain things that we have got to do in order to get back to just women being women. Yes, that compromise is a hard thing, girl. It's real hard. But it's something that we have to work on. You have to work on getting back to the basics. Absolutely. You got to work on getting back to the basics. We have got to work on getting back to being women and allowing men to be men. Because the one thing that I realize is There is nothing worse than a woman stripping a man of his manhood and making him feel like he's less than a man. And you can do that by your actions. You can do that by your words. I know my words were tough. They could cut your throat. But that's not the way to go. Yes, and it's not. Once you have degraded a man and stripped him and made him feel like he's less than a man, the honest question is, why would he want you? Why would he want you? I mean, I don't see why he would. Yes, and then we wonder why they don't work. Then we wonder why he over here with somebody who is showing him that it's okay for you to be a man. There are a lot of things that we have to look at as women. We are quick. You took it right out of my mouth, Janae. I was getting ready to say we are quick to play the victim. We are quick to play the victim. And sometimes we are the victim. But sometimes we as women are not the victims. This is when you have to do a self examination. What are you doing? What are you saying? Because I know for me that I haven't always been the victim. I know that I have been just downright ruthless with my mouth. And I know that my mouth has caused a man to feel less than a man. And I've made him feel like, what do I need you for? Yes, we are quick to say what he's doing wrong, but we never look at ourselves. And I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. It's time that we start taking responsibility for our own actions. It's time that we look at ourselves. What are you doing? Stop thinking it's all him because boo boo, it ain't all him. Some of it is you. And I am quick to say that I know that it was me. My words, my mouth, my mouth. Girl, my mouth could put somebody 6 feet under. And during this time, I'm looking back and I'm like, you know what? I don't blame him. I would have left me too. I would have went on about my business. I probably would have been, girl, I'd have had some jetpacks on the back of me. And I would have got away so fast and would have never looked back. Like, this broad is crazy and I am not staying with her. But that comes with that defense mechanism of lashing out. You got to look at the root of the problem. I mean, Linda, I'm honest. I'm honest about me, honey. If I would have been a man with me, girl, I'd have put on that jetpack so quick and would have been out of here so fast. I'd have been like, I'm not staying with that crazy broad. I mean, it's just what it is. She talks down to me like I'm a child. It's time for me to go. So that was one of the things that I had to look at when it came to myself. You cannot talk to a man any kind of way. Girl, yes, my mama will tell a man, don't you say nothing. And then I'm looking at him like, I wish you would say something. And I'm looking back now like, that man was not a child. He was not one of my children. Thank God for growth. And I degraded him and treated him like he was less than anything other than a man. So, ladies, I gotta get off. I wanted to get up here and do this quick scope tonight and talk a little bit about that, but we have got to get back to the basics. And it is very important that we do that. Because if we don't, we are going to be lost as women. I want to thank you ladies for joining on tonight. I'll be back next Monday at 7:30. And thank you guys for joining on. For those of you who this is your first time coming on, I really appreciate you joining the scope. I am here every Monday night at 7:30, Straight Talk with Chris. So I don't know what the topic is going to be next Monday, but we will be here on Monday night. Rest of your night. Well, if I can get this thing to cut off.